Alright, so I just finished the diving open water video, and I got a story time. So, there was, let's see, this is when I was doing my advanced, I was doing my advanced open water off of Windy Point and Lake Travis. I think I was off of a boat at this point, which, by the way, if you're in the Austin area, the frickin' Windy Point Park underwater is amazing to train in. Sure, it ain't the Caribbean, whatever. It ain't, something like that, but it's perfect for training. It's literally made for training, it looks like. There's multiple staircases going down to platforms at different levels and depths. And, anyways, so I was doing the deep diver portion of my advanced open water, my deep dive, and I had never been that deep in Travis before. I'd been to 80 feet in Cabo San Lucas before. Whoops. And the biggest reason to get your advanced is because you want to go deeper. So when 60 feet ain't enough, get for your advanced and further in Tech Trimix, and that's a whole other video. But we were going down off this boat, descending probably 100 yards to the right of Windy Point, if you're looking out from Windy Point. And he's like, I want to show you something, which that instructor was phenomenal. I think they're with Lake Travis Scuba. They own a boat. Would recommend them. So, keep in mind, it's 80 degrees at the surface on Travis, but it's probably, I think it was 53, 52 down at depth. So, and I was like, oh, why is everyone in so much gear? So I ended up putting all my gear on. 5mm hood, 5mm suit with a small neoprene vest over the wetsuit. Boots, gloves, the whole shebang, right? The only skin showing right here. We get down there, and what I didn't know is that one of the thermoclines, which is kind of the temperature separations within the water, at the, I want to say 70-foot one or 80-foot one, it gets cold, and it gets really, really, really muddy. Like, really muddy. And dirty water. You can't see probably more than a foot in front of your face. I wasn't expecting this. They told me a little bit about it. I'm like, oh, okay, I've dove in some, not clear conditions. No, I was completely wrong. So we're going down, and I am literally almost grabbing the tank of the instructor in front of me, and I lose him. I somehow let go of him or something, and I saw his fin come right up and touch my freaking mask, and after that, he was gone. And he had a strobe light attached to his tank, and I could not see it from more than 2 feet away. I mean, this strobe light, it's a strobe light. Like on the side of a wingtip of a plane, strobe light. And I freaking lost him on the way down, and I had never been that deep before, and that's the biggest panic I ever saw is I couldn't see more than this far in front of me. It's cold, it's starting to get dark. Once you pass that, it's pitch black. I have a freaking spotlight on this hand and my backup light in this hand. It's cold, dark, completely foggy in the water, can't see anything. And I start panicking because I had never been at that deep before. I'm like, do I go to the surface? What do I do? So I started descending slowly. I had to stop myself, and this is what I mentioned in the open water. I had to stop myself and think. I'm like, I just went through the studying and training for this. What do I do? And I was literally almost about to start tearing up. I was freaking out. I think it was about 70 feet. I was like, okay. Regrouped. Okay, I'll go to the surface. I lost him. I ascended very slowly, stayed at 15 feet for about 2-3 minutes, went up. The boat saw me, and he's like, oh, what happened? He's like, I'm like, hey, I lost my guy. That was my fault. And he's like, oh, let me come over to you. which I was supposed to deploy my surface marker buoy, but I didn't even know how to use it yet. So I just kind of popped up in the middle of a lake in a freaking heavy boat area. Yeah, we regrouped there. He came back up. He's like, "Hey, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have held on to you." We tried it again, and I finally broke through for the first time. We went past, and we got through the fog. I literally could not see where my hand was when I was holding his other fin, going through it. And he has bright yellow fins, lights all over him, and I couldn't follow him. But the second time, we ended up going through, and yeah, when you pass through it, it's about 80 feet. It's crystal clear, but it's pitch black. So if you have a light, the light will go super far, but it looks like you're in a freaking cave almost. We follow that down. We come down. We find this line that he said he laid. It was just orange, I think. What's that material? Paracord line. And we were following it down, and what I didn't know is there was a houseboat. And it's just like my uncle and aunt's CMS houseboat, but it was about 85, 90 feet under. And it's pitch black, and all of a sudden I see this boat emerge as we're swimming towards it. And I swear to God, it might have just been like a 30-foot boat, but it felt like I just found the Titanic. It was the coolest thing that I had ever seen at that time, for me. Just because it felt, it looked so untouched and everything, and the glass door was open, and I peeked my head in, had my flashlights on. I don't know if I recorded this. I'll have to go through my videos. God, I hope I did. And yeah, we got to see all that, and that was my first time through it, so I'm shivering, and I'm looking around. I have my spotlight attached right here, and I'm looking around at it. All the furniture is still in it and everything, and it was just covered in, moss and everything. I was like, wow. And I was so glad I decided to push through, because I had half of mine just be like, that was too hard. But you can't give up, even if you're not comfortable with it. Talk with people. Find out what you can do to improve before you go down. Because if you're uncomfortable with something, chances are you're going to mess it up. Diving, if you're not feeling a dive, just say, "Hey, I'm not feeling it today. I don't feel right," or "This doesn't seem right to me." Don't do it. That's the number one thing you're going to learn in every single class. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. Because it's not worth it at that point. They'll refund you your money. Don't worry about it. Just don't do the dive. But I regrouped with them, and I was ready for more. And yeah, I don't even know if that boat is still there, but yeah, that was probably the craziest learning experience I had about self nerves. But anyways, yeah, I'll probably have a few other stories thrown into my other videos, but I'll see you next time.